Hello, hello, hello. So without further ado, let's watch this. Let's make sure that we can see it though. All right, we can still see it. We're good. We're good. I don't think there's sound. So we see a gentleman coming into a store. Got a couple guys working the store. He appears to talk to them. What's he doing? Oh, he's holding something at them. Sure, everyone can think of what that is. And this guy is robbing the store. This gentleman is robbing the store. At least he's trying to rob the store. It ends up not going too great for him. As we see, he is being beat up. The gun is being taken from him. And he is being thrown out the door. Now he's being thrown out the door. It's taken them a little bit of time. He's fighting. He's fighting. You will notice the date is November 27th, 2021. And it is like just a little bit before midnight. He's like still trying to fight to get back in here to rob these men. And the door opens again. He tries to get back. Oh my God. What is happening? Do you see this? Oh. He's fighting pretty darn hard, guys. He's fighting pretty darn hard. So I'm sure that you are expecting me to now talk to you about why this dude robbed the store, right? I'm sure that you're expecting me to be like, this guy real bad robbing store. How dare he? Rah! But there's kind of a story, and there's a reason why I wanted to share this story today. And that is because, you see, this isn't just like a regular robbery. This isn't just some guy trying to rob a store and getting beat up and kicked out. This is actually the story of what can happen if you get scammed and you are in severe need of money, and how these scams actually also help the crime rate go up when they rip people off. As you see, the gentleman who robbed the shop was actually a Sunderland crypto scam victim. His name is Lewis Crosby. This is him here. A husband-to-be tried to rob a shop with a gun when he lost money saved for his wedding in a cryptocurrency con. Now, is it the fault of the con that he went all crazy and went to rob a shop? No, of course not. However, my point is that these cryptocurrency cons are fucking dangerous, okay? Not only because they can take everything from you, but as you can see, it can lead to crime. People will do anything after they've been scammed after, like, of all their life savings, right? Something like all the money you saved up for your wedding. Some people save up for their wedding for their whole lives. Says student Lewis Crosby, 25, naively converted his savings into digital cash before he was scammed, a court heard. On the 27th of November, shortly after learning the money had gone, he went to a shop in Sunderland and demanded cash, but was foiled when staff fought back. Crosby was jailed for 2 years after admitting attempted robbery and possessing a firearm. The sentence was suspended for 2 years by a judge who said Crosby was plunged into a crisis by the cryptocurrency disaster. So even the judge was kind of feeling sorry for him because of the scam. Newcastle Crown Court heard Crosby walked into the Premier shop on St. Luke's Road at about 22:50 and told staff, "Give me the money, I have a gun." The store owner and a worker put up an astonishing fight. I mean, it wasn't that astonishing, but sure. Knocked the weapon out of Crosby's hand and detained him until the police arrived. The worker approached Crosby. Despite the gun being pointed at him, the court heard. The shop worker grabbed the gun, an unloaded air pistol, and managed to knock it out of Crosby's hand, and then tried to escape. Crosby tried to escape, sorry. When arrested, Crosby claimed it was a joke, which I don't know what's funny about going into a store, even with like a fake gun. Just sounds like a really stupid idea, if you ask me, and a great way to get yourself into trouble or shot, especially in the US. But anyway, Crosby was an undergraduate who was due to marry a Singaporean national he had met online. I think Mr. Crosby needs to stop living his whole life online. Maybe he shouldn't be marrying somebody that he met online. Maybe he shouldn't be putting all his money into cryptocurrency online. I don't know. I'm just trying to give the dude some life advice, okay? Nicholas Lane, defending, said he had somewhat naively invested his savings he needed for a wedding dowry and for his rent into cryptocurrency, and he himself had been scammed. For those that don't know, a wedding dowry is when it is almost like an arranged marriage. In some places, you have to kind of buy the wife from her family. And I think that's what they're talking about. In clearly a moment when he wasn't thinking straight, he took up an air pistol, which he had bought off the internet, and committed this offense. See, this gentleman, he needs to stay off the internet. See, the internet is really the root of all of his problems. Judge Julie, you don't know how badly I wanted to say Judge Judy instead there, Clementson accepted the offender's shame and remorse were genuine. A doctor who assessed Crosby, who has a history of mental health problems, deemed the offense was an impulsive response to his losses. You must have been in a state of crisis to have acted in such a desperate manner, with thoughts swinging from taking your own life to committing financial crime to get yourself out of this situation, the judge said. During sentencing on Thursday, Judge Clementson said Crosby must have been in mental turmoil, which was triggered by being a victim of crime and losing the money he had worked hard to save. He will also face rehabilitation requirements and a 12-month curfew. And now, again, I just want to say, because it will be important, all right, I am not bringing this up to talk about how this guy is like innocent, okay? I know a lot of people that have been scammed out of a lot of money. Kind of talk about that here. So I've met a lot of people that have been scammed. Not one of them have ever gone and tried to rob a store. It does not excuse your bad behavior. I'm kind of iffy about the judge on this, even because I'm like, what about the trauma of the two guys that he robbed at gunpoint? Sometimes the court system thinks more of the perp and their mental health than it does the victims and their mental health. Okay. Actually, most of the time, especially here in Canada. So I'm kind of looking at that like, okay, that's great that he was upset. He was in a desperate spot, but he still shouldn't have gone and robbed a store, you know? But I do get the idea that what Joe says here, that desperate people do desperate things. And it is true that, I mean, if you're going to get scammed at everything that you've ever worked hard for, and he's on the line thinking that he just lost his entire future because it involves him getting the dowry for his wife, yeah, he's probably pretty desperate. But this to me is a really great example of how desperate people can get after they've been scammed and how things can go terribly wrong. And this is what I always worry about whenever we're talking about things like on passive, because it's like, I don't know what those people are going to do when that thing shuts down. What are they going to do? Like, it is. It's kind of upsetting. It's like, I hope none of them take to doing anything like this, right? So this gentleman, he is now going to serve his time uh, very shortly. I don't think he's in there yet. He was charged, at the end of November, and he gets to stay out for a while, which I'm sure the shop owners are very happy about. But this is what can happen. This is how desperate someone can get, is that they actually go and rob a store at gunpoint to try to make up for the money lost. That's really sad to me. And I really don't want that to happen to anyone else ever again. It's a very scary, scary thought. So I really wanted to talk about that today because these crypto scams, especially, are way too much and they need to be stopped. I feel like Alonda and I have been saying that a lot lately. So that's our first story of the day. Our second story of the day is we are just going to talk a minute because the FBI has now put out a bulletin saying that LinkedIn is being used for crypto scams, which again, I'm sure nobody's surprised by. Every single social media will be used for crypto scams. They've taken over Facebook. They've taken over Instagram. I can even browse YouTube right now and come across a bunch of them. So LinkedIn, of course, has now been taken over as well. So let's discuss that. So most of the scammers have been traced to Southeast Asia, and one group of victims said they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars each. Again, in Southeast Asia, they do not have the same laws about scams as they don't in most of these places, which is why they are the perfect place to do scams. The FBI and LinkedIn are working together to fight fraudsters using the job-seeking and network platform to lure investors into cryptocurrency schemes, according to a CNBC report. They call it bad actors. I don't know why we're calling scammers bad actors. Like, so that we don't hurt their feelings or something? I don't know, but that's what we're doing. And they, the bad actors, pose a significant threat, which again, I think that quotations should be around bad actors and not significant threat, but maybe that's just me, to LinkedIn and its consumers, according to Sean Reagan, the FBI special agent in charge of the San Francisco and Sacramento, California field offices, according to the report. This type of fraudulent activity is significant, and there are many potential victims, and there are many past and current victims. Nobody is safe from this anymore. In a typical scenario, according to the report, a scammer will pose as a professional with a fake profile and reach out to a LinkedIn user, starting with small talk before elevating to an offer to make money through crypto investments. Of course, right? I'm sure you've already gotten one of these. We talked about this there last week with these crypto scams, and they'll write you and they'll be like, what's the number in this weird box? And then I'll send you a bunch of crypto coin. And you're like, get out of here. That kind of thing. Same thing that they're doing on Instagram, that they're doing on Facebook. Just now they're doing it on LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, it's more frustrating because here's the thing. Not a lot of people use Instagram and Facebook to look for a job, right? On LinkedIn, though, if you are browsing around LinkedIn, most of the time you're trying to build a network for your career, find a job, that kind of thing. So again, it would be more annoying than if you're just like hanging out, scrolling Facebook one day, talking to friends, and then someone's like, hey, try this crypto thing. It's more annoying, just like with when the MLM hunts do it, when they pretend that you're going to a real job interview and they approach you like a real fucking boss would to do an interview. And then it ends up just being a freaking scam, just like when it ends up being an MLM company. That disappointment is a little worse for me than just being annoyed by the people writing you on Facebook or Instagram. So eventually the scammer leverages the trust earned over months to direct the user to invest money to a site controlled by the perpetrator and then drains your bank account. A group of victims told CNBC that their losses range from 200,000 to $1.6 million. It's like millions have already been taken. I believe that they recently said that cryptocurrency scams have taken about $1 billion so far from people. The FBI has seen an increase in this particular investment fraud, said Reagan, confirming also that it has active investigations but could not comment since they are open cases. LinkedIn acknowledged in a statement to CNBC that there has been a recent uptick of fraud on its platform. And that is again because they came to Facebook. Facebook tried to get rid of them. They came to Instagram. Instagram tried to get rid of them. They go to TikTok. TikTok has banned all of this. You can't run an MLM, can't run crypto scams, can't run any of that shit on TikTok. So they're not going to be on TikTok. So then where do they go next is LinkedIn. Basically, they'll just go from every social media, right? Like, and then they'll get kicked off of everyone, and we'll just be going around in circles trying to stop these scammers for our whole lives. Damn, I know. It's a lot of money to be gone. It really is. So, of course, they have a lot of open cases too, by the way. It isn't just like one or two. It's a lot. So they said, we work every day to keep our members safe, and this includes investing in automated and manual defenses to detect and address fake accounts, false information, and suspected fraud. Well, LinkedIn said it doesn't provide estimates on how much money has been stolen from members through its platform. It did say it removed more than 32 million fake accounts from its platform last year in 2021. That was their semi-annual report on fraud. 32 million fake accounts trying to scam people. The report revealed that the majority of the perpetrators have been traced by the global anti-scam organization of victim advocacy and support group to Southeast Asia. So again, Southeast Asia, they don't have the same kind of laws. So we hit a problem where the US or Canada or the UK or any of these other countries, we try to tell them, we say, listen, your people are running scams. Can you please do something? It's illegal where I am. And they go, that's nice. It's not illegal where I am though. So I don't really care. And then you're like, oh, well, thanks for nothing. And then you just hit a dead end. And that's why it is so hard for these scammers to get shut down and for people to get their money back. That's why I always tell people to like go to the bank, report it that way, and do that kind of thing. Because even if you call the police, like I said, there is no way to guarantee that you will get your money back. So the best way is to go through your bank, do stop payments, and then the bank can, if you have like anti-fraud, always get that protection on your accounts. And then that way you can have it refunded to you and you don't have to like worry about that kind of thing, right? I only have 4 sock accounts and only use for Jesus Christ, Joe. Well, I only ever opened up one sock account and it was called Beth Queen. And I used it for one day and then I forgot the password like the next day. I had accidentally not like saved it. I'm awful for that. So then when I tried to get into it like a day or two later, like I was like, oh no, I don't remember what this is or like what email I made. So I can't do the sock account thing because I'm fucking stupid. And I won't remember the emails and I won't remember the passwords and I'm not writing it down and I'm not having a bunch of saved weird passwords on my computer so that someone can hack it and then get my passwords to everything. No, thank you. So like, I don't even do it with Huns. Like even when I go and watch the On Passive live streams, it'll be me in this account, this Queen of Spade account, just coming in like, hey there, Ash, how's it going? And then he probably has an aneurysm, you know, that kind of thing. I don't even use it for that. I am never fake. I am always myself. Sorry. So this is the last one that we're going to do for today. I am not going to be on here for too super long. I do have another video that's a little drama coming out in a little while. I posted another one today because I'm not going through that anymore. I'm moving on. So they are just gonna have to go and seethe and cope on Twitter and Reddit on their own. But this one is really, really important because we're hitting a deadline with it. So I want to make sure that I announce this. It's Canadian. So phone scam victims in Canada can get money back, but you only have weeks to make your claim. So if you're in Canada and you were part of this, you only have weeks. So let's talk about it. So there was a $586 million US available under Western Union settlement, and there's an August 31st deadline. Western Union. Alrighty. Western Union reached a settlement to repay victims of phone scammers after it was targeted in a federal investigation in the United States for its role in the scheme in which scammers convinced people to send money through the transfer service. Again, it kind of sucks, though, that Western Union is at fault. Because to me, they're not really at fault. It's nice, you know? Like, they should have done more to protect people. Don't get me wrong. They're at fault for that. But I'm just like, man, I wish we could actually charge the goddamn actual scammers that stole the money, you know? Unfortunately, though, we can't. Because of everything I've already stated. To Canadians, scam phone calls can be ubiquitous, because I'm not going to say that word right, with callers claiming to represent the Canada Revenue Agency or offer technical support. We got all of them here, okay? They'll call you pretending to be anything. I even get calls about the IRS. And I'm like, sweetheart, I'm Canadian. We don't have the IRS here. Go, you know? Or they're pitching loan, job, or romance scams. It's a long list of scams. I am never bored here. For victims who send money to scammers using Western Union's money transfer service, there is a way to get all of your cash back. But it's a limited time offer. The process to apply is laid out here. So we'll look at that as well. Please have, okay, good. Sometimes it doesn't like to switch when I do that. So remission phase 2. On January 19th, 2027, the Western Union Company entered into a deferred prosecution agreement, DPA, with the United States. Pursuant to the DPA, Western Union acknowledged responsibility for its criminal conduct, which included violations of the Bank Secrecy Act and aiding and abetting wire fraud, and agreed to forfeit $586 million, which has been made available to compensate victims of the international consumer fraud scheme through the remission process. Western Union simultaneously resolved a parallel civil investigation with the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. The scheme investigated by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service involved the targeting of consumers by fraudsters through multiple scams. Every scam you can think of, they've all used Western Union, right? These scams included the grandparent scam, where the fraudster would pose as the victim's relative in need of immediate money to avoid personal harm. The lottery or sweepstakes scams, where the fraudster would tell the victim that they had won a large cash prize but had to pay fees such as taxes to claim the prize. And the romance scams, where the fraudster would pose as an online love interest and request funds for a visit or for another purpose. Do you guys ever get those, like, I don't even know if they're around anymore. I just remember when I was a kid, we always used to get this stupid boat one. And you would, like, the phone rang, and you go pick up the phone, and it would be like, "Rah!" And you'd be like, what the fuck? And then it would be like, you run a cruise. That kind of thing. I always think of that whenever they're like, these weird scams, won a large cash prize. That's always the first one I think of, is that boat one. I don't even remember what the hell it was. Maybe I'll look into it and cover it one day. In each of these scams, the fraudsters convinced their victims to send money through Western Union, and no victims received the promised cash prizes or promoted item, or I guess love interest that they were buying. The U.S. Department of Justice is overseeing the remission process and hired Giraldi and Co. LLC to serve as the remission administrator in this matter. To date, the Department of Justice has distributed over $366 million in funds forfeited to the U.S. government from Western Union to over 148,000 victims, all of whom received full compensation for their losses. Due to the continued availability of forfeited funds to compensate additional victims, the Department of Justice has opened the petition process to potential victims who have not previously submitted petitions for remission. So if you believe there watching this video, yes, you. If you believe you are a victim of the fraud described above and you made a wire transfer through Western Union between January 1st of 2004 and January 19th of 2017, you may be eligible for remission, which means cha-ching, okay? So you're going to want to get that money back. In order to be considered for a remission payment, you will be required to submit a petition for a remission form along with any available supporting documentation. So, if you needed that, you could go to your bank. I'm sure there's ways that you could prove that you did that wire transfer. If you don't have a receipt, I'm sure you could even get it from Western Union. I'm sure they keep track of that kind of thing. But your bank would probably have the information as well. There's ways that you can go about proving that you did that, even if you don't have the receipt. So look into it and don't think that just because you didn't save this Western Union receipt that you're shit out of luck. Please look into it all first before you just decide that you're not going to get it. If you owed it, you should get it, okay? All about people getting paid back after they've been scammed. So, yeah, just know that there's a way to get that. Your petition must be postmarked on or before July 1st, 2022. So you have to have mailed this in. And when they say that, they mean the post office will also stamp it. So even if you mail it on July 1st and the post office doesn't pick it up till the 2nd and stamps it, then you're shit out of luck. So please make sure to do it by mid-August just to be sure. In 2018, the remission process for the Western Union case started and over 500,000 petitions were mailed to identify victims. Over 180,000 petitions were received in the initial Western Union remission process. Since then, 3 distributions have been completed. If you previously filed a claim or received a distribution, please visit the Western Union remission website or send an email to info@westernunionremission.com. If you've already filed a petition with the phase 1, you obviously cannot file again here with the phase 2. So that's really important to know about, right? So again, you want to make sure that you get that, because even if you got ripped off of $20, I'm serious. Go get that money. Claims must be made by August 31st, 2022. Again, they're saying August 31st because if it's not postmarked July 1st or before, yeah. So just make sure you do that. Do it before then. Do it way before. Do it right now. Go to your bank right now, get the information, send it in. I wouldn't wait. They say July 1st, they say August 31st. Just go send it in now. Don't wait. I don't want to fuck around with these dates, man. The money became available after a federal investigation in the U.S. targeted Western Union for its role in the scheme in which scammers convinced people to send money, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. Some of these people were taken for hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. Western Union avoided prosecution by setting aside the money, which is to be dispersed to scam victims who experience a financial loss between the dates we talked about. So they did it to avoid prosecution, which again, they got in trouble because they didn't do what they should have to protect the people that use their services. So like how YouTubers should get in trouble if they don't protect their community from dangerous people, like that kind of thing. In a deferred prosecution agreement, the company acknowledged responsibility for its criminal conduct, which included violations of the U.S. Bank Secrecy Act. I'm never going to say that right. And aiding and abetting wire fraud. Because again, it's technically what they're doing if they're doing these wire transfers and it's for scams. Although the settlement was reached in the U.S., dun, da, 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 compensation is available to victims globally. Global. No matter where you live, you can get compensation for this, including those in Canada, like me. So far, 148,000 people have been compensated, and you can make it 149,000 if you're one of the people. Come on, I'm sure there's at least 1,000 people out here on YouTube that were scammed by this thing. This story we already talked about. I did a video on it. You can go and check that out. But yes, again, if you have been scammed between these dates, January 1st, 2004 and January 19th, 2017, this right here, okay? If you experience a financial loss between those dates, figure out how to get your money, honey, because Western Union owes you a check, and it's worth it. At the end of this stream, I will make sure I leave the links down below so that if you or anyone you know, make sure you tell people about this. Share this video, if you will, this stream, whatever you want to call it, so that they all know. Thousands upon thousands of people lose money doing scams like this all the time, okay? You have to remember, Western Union was a big place. Now they'll tell you, because this happened, basically, is why they say, go get a Google Play gift card, go get this Amazon gift card, go do that. Because they can no longer just wire money through Western Union. And that's how they used to do it before, right? So that's the good news is it's a lot harder now to do it that way. Western Union is not going to want to get another charge like this. All right. They're like, no. We're going to make sure now that, we protect people and we don't ever do a wire transfer like that again. So the good news is Western Union is no longer being used as to aid and abet these scams. The bad news is, though, that there's 500 million other things that are, and cryptocurrency is the new Western Union. So now instead of them telling people to do like Western Union wire transfers or even gift cards, they're actually telling people to go buy cryptocurrency and send that to them. So, and then again, that makes the cryptocurrency field a little iffy because of all the scams there. It's like that you almost can't do it safely now. And that's a shame, because scammers just have to freaking ruin everything, don't they? Don't they? I see them trying to impersonate company CEOs and asking the employees for Google Pay. Yeah, that all the time. That's like kind of like their new one. Thanks. Don't want to say anything because I was to my wife's family. Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. You don't get calls? Only from my annoying phone provider trying to sell me a contract instead of my prepaid card. I always get prepaid too. I'm not messing. The one time I didn't, I regretted it very much. All right, so there you go. Yeah, so if the bank still has data that is older than 10 years, usually they do. Usually, most places will keep it for about 10 years, 7 to 10 years. So you can go get it. There's other ways. Western Union also, if you have an account with them, because I think you have to open up an account with them and stuff. So there's ways to go about it. But yeah, definitely let people know about this because Western Union was the big scam one. It was the one that everybody was being told to do wire transfers on Western Union for every single scam imaginable during that time. Chances are you probably do know somebody that got scammed during that time via Western Union that could collect this money if you can't. So I just wanted to make sure I came out and let everyone know about that because time's a ticking. And like I said, I don't, they keep saying like August 31st, July 1st. I'm not messing around with the date. So if I were you, I just get it done by the end of June. I would just get it done in the next couple weeks. Don't mess around. Go and figure it out. Send it in. I'll leave the links down below in my description when I'm done this. I know sometimes I'm bad for that. Just tell me. Be like, Queen, you're being a clown again and you forgot to leave your fucking links. All right? You don't have to do a big stream saying that I'm plagiarizing and stealing stuff. Sometimes it's not that deep, you know? Sometimes it's not that deep. So, yeah, basically watch out on LinkedIn. Remember that no matter how desperate you get after you've been scammed, don't rob stores or banks or anyone. See, I don't get that because to me that's like, oh, I just got scammed. So now I'm going to go scam someone else to help me feel better about how I just got scammed. And then my brain explodes because I'm like, well, that makes no sense. Because now you're a scammer too, and nobody's happy. And he's probably not getting married to that Singapore woman anymore. I'm just saying. She's probably out. She's like, no matter what dowry, it's not going to be enough anymore, sir. You spending time in jail. I'm out. Like most women do. So be careful of that. And yes, try and have a good day. Be safe on here. The internet is a very, very scary place. And everybody you trust is to be untrusted. Don't trust a single freaking person. And no matter where you are, what you're doing, I hope that you all have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous day. Take care. I'll see you all later on. Got another video that I'm going to pop up because like I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. I always said I wouldn't do it for 3 years, so we can't. So I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye. Have a good day. Be safe. Like I said, I don't know what else to say. Don't dox people. Try not to swat anyone today or look up people's personal information and like financial records. Just concentrate on ending bad behavior and learning and growing yourself. Maybe that's what everyone needs to do. And then we'd have a hell of a lot less drama out here, huh?